Hello, everyone. My name is Kunu Bearchum. I am a chief petitioner for Measure 20-373, and we are here tonight to support our effort there with the Bill of Rights for our watersheds. I know a lot of y'all here. For the ones that I don't, thank you for showing up tonight. This means a lot to build community with you and to for y'all to get a little more insight into what it means to be a water protector from an Indigenous perspective and from the perspective of young people. So tonight we are screening the first descent of the Klamath, kayaking the Klamath River. And we're gonna do some housekeeping first of all, and then before we start the screening in tribal protocol fashion with the Longhouse, we're going to have a song sung, and then if at that moment, if you can, please stand and take off your hat. And this is a moment of like prayerful intention. So we'll get to that later. But in the meantime, I'm going to read a script that my beautiful wife prepared for me. The screening of this film is done in partnership with Protect Lane County Watersheds and the Yes on Measure 20-373 Committee. This is a grassroots effort led by local volunteer residents to secure legal rights for our watersheds and to guarantee residents the right to clean water. We are members of this community who believe that it is our right. Oh my God, sorry. It is our right and our responsibility to protect the water we depend on from harmful corporate activity. With the help of some very able attorneys, we wrote this measure because the current law protects harmful business practices and elevates corporate profits over the health of people and the environment. We wrote this because nature requires better protections. Today, water can be contaminated with herbicides, pesticides, and PFAs and still be considered acceptable under regulatory standards. But those standards ignore the real dangers of cumulative exposure. They are not designed to truly protect public health. And now we have the very real threat of large-scale AI data centers in our county. And I saw something online actually that there's this website that tracks data centers around the country, and it's kind of insane how rapidly they are being built all over the country. And I found out that we already have 3 data centers that are operating in the southern Willamette Valley. So I learned that a few days ago. Data centers require vast amounts of water for cooling, straining local resources. These cooling towers contain toxic chemicals that end up being disposed on nearby lands, endangering nearby communities. Measure 20-373 is needed. Current environmental protection laws are not robust enough to protect Lane County from data centers. We need a new baseline, one that puts the health of our watersheds and the people who rely on them first before corporate profits. This measure takes a preventative, common sense approach, and it affirms that our watersheds matter and our communities matter. We, our children and their children, and the generations to come deserve better. When the natural world is healthy, the people are healthy. Stand with us for clean water, healthy ecosystems, and a brighter future for Lane County. Let's vote yes on Measure 20-373. Thank you. And so I'll start the movie now, but I wanted to also shout out Jesse Sears, who was the producer of this documentary film that we're gonna watch tonight. Jesse is an amazing filmmaker, and she works for Oregon Public Broadcasting, covering Indigenous stories, and that's kind of like her beat through different programming at Oregon Public Broadcasting. I would have loved for her to be here tonight. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of a gray area with political action type work and being an employee of a public media institution. So because of that, I didn't want to maybe get her in trouble with OPB by coming here. But also, I just want to say, as an Indigenous person, it just, I don't see that there's a disconnect there for me. You know, like I feel like as Native people, we are stewards of the land and the resources around us, and that, you know, we should proudly proclaim that we are water protectors and land defenders, and, you know, there shouldn't be some sort of backlash from your employer for that. But either way, big shout out to Jesse Sears. This is an amazing production. So.
Before I came on this trip, my uncle was saying bye to me, and he said, "Go be historic." This is history. We are currently creating history.
I've had a lot of family members that have been fighting for these dams. And it's just like, keep going, keep doing it for the people before you.
2 years of progression, all for these next 30 days.
This moment has been prayed for.
The Klamath Dam removal was the largest dam removal in history. They removed 4 out of the 6 dams that were built on the Klamath River. This is a battle tribal communities have been fighting for over a century. The first descent is to celebrate the work that went into dam removal and to show why it's necessary.
The Klamath River starts in Oregon, on the headwaters of the Wood River, through Agency and Klamath Lake. We'll have to get out and portage around the 2 remaining dams. We're gonna have to keep going for about a week until we get through past dam sites, where the dams used to be. Then we're gonna keep going until we hit the ocean.
So this trip is an opportunity for us to celebrate a free-flowing river, because it's not something that happens in everybody's community, and it's something that just happened in ours.
My name is Julian Tony Kiao Rogers. I'm from the Hoopa Valley tribe. I'm 16 years old. I started kayaking with Paddle Troubled Waters in 2022. When I first started, I was terrified of the water, and I swam all the time and I could barely paddle. But now I've seen myself improve exponentially.
Well, I want to welcome everybody here to our homelands. For myself, it's a really emotional day for us, the Oxkani, Modakani, Numu, the people that live here. You know, it's been over 100 years since we've had Chial salmon in our homeland, and soon they'll be swimming in these rivers. And it wouldn't have never happened if it hadn't been for the support of many, many, many people. But in our custom, you know, we need to open this up in the right way, and that's with prayer. Creator, we thank you for bringing us here. We ask that you bless all of the people here this day. We pray for the good health of our youth and that they be protected as they make this journey. And we thank everybody for being here. I want to to all my relation.
My name is Tasia and A-de'ts. I'm 15 years old and a Hoopa tribal member, and I've been kayaking for 2 years now.
There's a lot of strainers, meaning like downed wood and trees on the outsides of the river bend.
The reason why I was preparing for is happening now, and 2 years of progression, all leading for these next 30 days.
All right, we're getting going. It's good. All right, guys, let's go!
What a reward, what a joy. As much as I want to be there, look at these little water warriors. Like, look at them all keep that going. And that's a part of the importance of us as Indigenous people, that we all have that role. And there's a time where we have to look to our younger ones.
Yeah, we're going to be the first Native American youth that runs our home river from source to sea. There's that, like, bigger picture from so many elders and so many people that was, like, talking to us. For me, it was just the fact that I could show my siblings that things like this can be done.
For me, what I'm really thinking about is my community. I'm doing it for all of them. And the people before me who aren't here anymore, you know, so that they could see what I'm doing now.
We've got a couple of days of miles to paddle across the lake. There's no short days coming up in the immediate future, so we want to make sure that you're getting plenty of sleep so that you're feeling rested and solid for good mileage days.
I took them and put them in the dirty basket.
Maybe it's not on.
Oh!
No! What do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean? Why? What do you mean?
My name is Tasia Linwood. I'm Karuk and Okanagan and Ojibwe and Wampanoag. I'm 15 right now. It sounds so young when I say it, but I feel so old and I don't know why.
Thumbs up. Round the reds. Make a video. What day of the descent is it?
Hello, guys.
What are we getting ready to do? Ready, set, go.
Hi, my name's Tay,
And I'm Tasia.
and today we're on the Wood River.
On day 2 of the first descent,
Get hype. Get hype.
the Klamath River has been dammed for over 100 years. My grandpa, my grandma, my parents, like they never thought that they were gonna see this river undammed.
We had moments of not concern, but like, it's just she's been gone and she's whitewater kayaking on a river that's unknown at this point. The river is moving in different ways than it ever has. This is our daughter. Like, this is our like young, like small daughter. But she's so strong and so powerful.
We're going 19.2 miles today. That's a lot. I think it's cool. You know, you don't get to see the river the way you do in a kayak, you know?
We keep having fun, you know, keep moseying on down the river, but it's not a fast river at all.
Oh my God.
too low.
Yeah.
Robot, oh, we're stuck.
Not ideal.
Up here, we got this bridge that's a little too low for us to just paddle under it. You have to kind of like brace in the water to get a little bit lower. Some people are gonna have to portage because that was pretty tough to do, I guess.
You got it, Tasia. Pick it up, pick it up. Thanks, Tanai. Oh.
Take both of them.
Oh, both of them?
Yes.
Oh, you're the best.
I have no clue how much miles we've gone and how much time has passed. I'm delirious and delusional now. So after like 5 miles, people are getting like, oh boy, I wonder how far in we are. And then 10 miles in, everybody's tired. And then we get to the lake. And I'm like, oh, here it is. We only got 3 miles to go. And let me tell you, that was the worst 3 miles of my life. We get to the lake, I'm so excited. And then boom, these crashing waves, you know, you have to fight to stay moving forward.
There's so much water in my boat. It's actually psychotic. I swear I was getting seasick. It was so gnarly. It was so bad. And my pants are rubbing really bad on my back and my bra. I'm going through it right now. This is a hard birthday.
Oh, you did it.
It's gonna be better. Today's the hardest day.
You promise?
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that if I'm not shredded by the end of this, I'm done. Lake days were long. We had to be in sea kayaks, flat water, just wind. We portaged Link River and Kino dams. We had to get out and walk around it from the upper part of the Klamath River to the lower part of the Klamath River. There was a very obvious change in water. Behind the dams, there is still so much algae inside the river. And you can see the difference of the Klamath River. Like, wow, that is disgusting. Being part of this program has taught me a lot about river health, rivers around the world, because it's not just our river that this is happening to. For training for the first descent, we went to Chile for 2 semesters. We went to this town. It was like a reservation. The people who created the dams forcefully relocated the native people who were living beside the river. That's what happened with reservations. Like, we were forcefully removed somewhere else. And it was weird to like see that. What happened to us is happening somewhere else right now. These rivers, these dams that we just got taken out, they're being put up somewhere else right now, right this minute.
Holy, why are you doing that to your face? It's not makeup, it's a zinc stick. They're like sunscreen so the sun don't burn your face.
It's like sunscreen on steroids.
Get a picture.
What the? You cannot do pink face. Well, that's only half.
You look like a miscolored French flag.
I'm a Neapolitan tub of ice cream.
Boom. Today, we are paddling Kiki-Chucky, also known as Ward's Canyon, the new section on the Klamath River.
The Klamath has quite a few rapids, some class 4, 4+. We rafted this section probably a year ago, and it was big, so I'm pretty nervous.
pretty awesome to see the canyon once again. I don't know if you can hear me or not because of the rapids. I'm really nervous actually right now.
When the dams came down, that was over a year ago, and it's still like my brain hasn't totally caught up. And they got to go through that place. Like our people hasn't been able to do that.
There used to be this ginormous structure right here, and I'm just going through it.
Like going through the dam sites, and I've only ever seen Iron Gate from like this big ugly blockade on the river. And I was looking at it from river level, and like I never thought that I would see it like this. These beautiful stretches of river was like, this is the river I grew up on, but I've never known this river like this.
So much hardship for like our people and for the river and its inhabitants, the fish and the wildlife. Fish kills, algae blooms, not being able to go in the river. You can see the toll it took on the river and everything around the river.
On the Klamath, it's been not just dirty, but sick my entire life. We never swam in the Klamath River because there's algae up to my knees in pretty much every single place.
It felt like another thing that was taken from us and another thing that we had to just get used to.
So it was an extremely blessed feeling to know that I get to be alive during this time.
We're just blowing on through. Holy crap, that's where it was!
It looks so different now. It's actually so much colder almost every single place than I can remember even just a few years ago. It feels like a place that's actually healing.
Oh my gosh, no!
Whenever I get in the flat water and all that, I just start throwing as much tricks as I can.
It hurts. My older cousin just had a baby, so I thought it was time to start weaving, so yeah. This is a baby rattle that I started. We gathered all the material for it, the willow roots and the sticks, and then I've been kind of weaving off and on since then.
During the last 3 days, we had this goal of bringing together folks from Indigenous communities all across the globe, because we know that while our river is free-flowing, dams are an international problem.
There's people from China, there's people from Bolivia, there's people from Chile, there's people from New Zealand.
Your experience, especially from the Indigenous people living along the Klamath River, is very important for all Indigenous people worldwide.
In our culture, we're from Aotearoa, from New Zealand, on the other side of the Pacific. Our headwaters are all diverted into another system to help generate power, which is killing our rivers. So we've come here to learn and to see how we can take the knowledge of what's happened here back home to help us.
It's so much more than just the river. It's also about the people that are getting forcefully relocated. It's about the people that had to move. And it's a hard reality to think so happily and hopefully about our river because this is amazing. This is amazing. And I am overwhelmed with joy that this has happened. But at the same time, how can I be so joyful when the same thing that happened to us 100 years ago is happening right now, somewhere else?
It's been a long journey. Good morning, little girls. Good morning. Okay, hi guys. So today's a really big day. We're getting to the mouth. Someone will sing us in. We get there. An elder, they'll do prayer for us.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Take a lot.
Gotta get the fist up.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
There's times where I was like, oh, I could just quit this descent now. But for me, the bigger picture was just showing up for my siblings and showing them that I could do this.
What up, you guys? It is day 30 out of 30 of the first descent, and we are about to put in. We are currently all feeling a little bit good, sad, I don't know. 3 years of hard work about to be over in like 2 hours. Final mile.
I thought it was gonna be sunny.
I also thought it was going to be sunny. I think creators trying to build up the suspense, eh?
I think being on this trip has definitely healed some things in me, but I think more importantly, it's healed things for my community.
We made it to the ocean. How do you feel?
We just got into Klamath River!
We're now at your home territory. How does it feel?
I'm gonna start crying. This is so insane. I'm so proud of all these kids, especially Julian's son of Kia Rogers. Because he really did truly kayak the entire river. Like the insane boss he is.
Almost as soon as we were done, the fog just started lifting and it got sunny and kind of loving on us a little bit.
Hi, baby. Proud mama.
I'm gonna squeeze. Now she doesn't have to like so happy.
I think they're moving in front right now.
Here, what
Do you want to grab these bugs?
Oh my god. So love you guys.
So proud of you.
Stop.
I've got to keep crying, so just get used to it.
Getting her back, but also getting her back from this journey that's gonna change her life. She's gonna be a different person now from this point on. I can't even fathom what she's going to do after this.
I've been thinking back and like thinking of my ancestors, and I've had a lot of family members that have been fighting for these dams, and they aren't here today, but you know, I'm proud and I'm thankful that they were there and they were fighting for it. So for me, I'm super proud to say that I've done it, and I'm super thankful for them, the people before me.
It is a wonderful day, and these young people who made a 30-day journey, we need to honor each of them for taking this journey for all of us.
It's been powerful, you know, that my boys are contributing, my nephews, my nieces, my great-nephew, contributing to something that our warriors have been a part of for so long, and they get to be the celebration.
I want to go show like my community how to kayak. That is my main goal for the next 5-10 years, to get to where kayaking's really well known in Hoopa.
You know, there's still this whole narrative that people don't know that we exist. You don't learn about us now. And hopefully this is put in a textbook as a current event.
Proud of you guys. Congratulations for making it here. 1, 2, 3.
The river is part of who we are as Native people who have lived on this river. This is like something positive that I can tell my grandkids that I was a part of. And hopefully my kids, my grandkids, they're never gonna have to see this river unhealthy. I need to do something after this. This doesn't feel like the end for me.
Yeah. I've never been kayaking before, and so doing this was like, unreal, bro. A whole new world, a pleasant place I never knew.
What is good? Kayaking. What is mid?
Flat water.
Flat water. What do we hate? Dams and racism.
The first descent of the Klamath River, undammed.
Hi, I'm Oregon Field Guide producer Jesse Sears. As a Canuck tribal member, I've been following the Klamath Dam removal for years. As soon as I heard about Paddle Tribal Water's first descent, I just knew that this is a story that OPB had to follow. We were only able to follow it thanks to members like you. If you're not already, you can become a sustaining member today by going to opb.org/video. Thanks.
You can now find many Oregon Field Guide stories and episodes online. And to be part of the conversation about nature and the outdoors here in the Northwest, join us on Facebook.
Major support for Oregon Field Guide is provided by Jim and April Lonsway, Carol and Velma Sailing Foundation, Robert D. and Marcia H. Randall Charitable Trust, Fund for Lifelong Learning. Additional support provided by Christine and David Vernier, Coit Family Foundation, Kei Kitagawa and Andy Johnson Laird Endowed Fund, and the following. And contributing members of OPB and viewers like you. Thank you.
One more time, please make some noise for these water protectors. And we're gonna do a little Q&A with Tasia, A-de'ts, Ginger, and Nisha. So if y'all could please come up and we'll do a little panel discussion here. Yes. So yeah, we have a few questions we've prepared for the panel discussion. But first of all, I'd like to let everyone introduce themselves to our community here.
Ayuki nanithoi Nisha Sipahana Karuk Ara Nani Yachka Tasia Linwood.
Ayuki nanathoiti Tasia Linwood na karukara amakiara maramsi panic na okanagan karu ojebwe karu wampana karu to'ono oraham one ara karu klipki haranai taniki nani ta Nisha Subahan karu nani aka Toby Linwood. Hello, my name is Tasia Linwood. I'm Karuk from the village of Amakiatam. I'm also Okanagan, Ojibwe, Wampanoag, and To'ono O'odham. My mom is Nisha Supahan. Oh, I'm 16 years old. My mom is Nisha Supahan. My dad is Toby Linwood. And my siblings as well.
Heong A-de'ts Nikiao Kholiet Natinahwe Aute Minthlang Muna Mikostau Menondiai. My name's A-de'ts Nikiao Rogers. I'm 19 and I'm from the Hoopa Valley tribe.
Heang Atene Humalio Holtwith Tatank Nasmats Foliet Natinahwe Aute Humalio ne Enyat Delt Met Dilting Take a Misting Die. Chowantwing A-de'ts Nikiao, Hi Julian Jamal, Huyachet Takin, Kiach Takatuanchet, Nina San Malai, Honzel Kiku. One twing, Natinache, Nai, Setia. My name is Ginger, I'm Hoopa. Yay! And I'm the mother of A-de'ts and also in the film Julian. And I'm from the villages of Metdilding and Tekamisting, and my daughters are out here as well. So thanks all, happy to see you here.
Thank you. So the first question I have is, so this film shows some pretty intense preparation that for the journey, training in Chile. There were some cultural exchanges with some indigenous groups down there. Years of learning whitewater skills. And so the question is, for our youth here, for our kayakers, what did those years of preparation mean to you personally? And how did your family support you through that commitment?
Throughout all of this, I think my family has been like my biggest supporter. A-de'ts is one of my brothers. On the first time I got to go to Chile, I was with 3 of my older brothers, and so that I was in 8th grade at the time, and that was really helpful for me and my family. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah. So. And it's always just nice to have a little piece of family everywhere you go. I also obviously wouldn't have been able to go on the trips without my parents. And yeah.
Pretty much the same thing. I only joined because my cousins were in it. So pretty much all the support for the training was family, and yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for that. And so for a follow-up question is, one of the kayaking participants described feeling nervous as this 300-mile trip got closer, and channeling that nervousness into more training. Was there a specific moment on the water or off when the weight of what was about to happen, what you were about to do, this journey you were about to go on, was there a moment that this really hit you, and can you explain how that made you feel, if so?
I think leading up to the descent and the training and preparations for it, especially getting closer to the actual descent, it was all just kind of like, I was just anxious about it. 30 days like away from my family, just kayaking, and just like kayaking every single day in the sun in the summer and camping, and that kind of really scared me. I was nervous for a while, and so that was definitely very nerve-wracking. I think during the descent, right before we finished, was when it was like, oh, like, wow, this is like so real, and it's coming to an end, and this like specific part of my life that I've been working so hard for is like ending right now. And I think that was it was an emotional day for all of us, and it was kind of hard.
Yeah, I second pretty much everything she said. It was like 3-4 years of my life just practicing to do the first descent. And then on the very last day, as we were getting ready to put onto the water, my little cousin was just walking around, just kind of instigating and antagonizing everyone, just being like, oh my God, it's the last day, oh my God. And it was a really weird feeling. And I feel like, but the whole weight of it hit me when we ran across the beach and saw the ocean. I was pretty emotional.
Yeah, I could only imagine. I mean, it must be like a bittersweet feeling, right? Of, like you shared so much time with, with all these, family, friends, I mean, wow. I'm just getting goosebumps, like thinking about it. It's amazing. So this next question is for the mamas. So Nisha, in the film, you spoke about your pride in your daughters experiencing the river in a way closer to how it flowed for the ancestors. And so for both Ginger and Nisha, what was it like watching your child take part in something so historically significant, and how did you hold space for both your pride and your worry?
I think it was the first time that I understood what like compartmentalization was, like putting the parts that I was worried about into a box and closing it for a bit. The first time that they all went to South America, Toby drove them in an ice storm down to Medford to catch the plane, and I was crying, but I was trying not to like bawl in front of them. And then they walked out the door, and I just started crying. And then Ginger and I were texting, and I was like, okay, I can't stop crying. And she's like, okay, me either. I'm like, can you come over? And then her and the girls came over for like 2 weeks. And to get through those first 3 days, I cleaned and I cried. And the girls and I and Ginger hung out. But it's really hard. And once we knew they were safe and in South America, I honestly had to stop thinking about them whitewater kayaking in a country that I could not get to immediately if I wanted to. And so we would talk and we would check in, but I waited until they were back to really ask about how the rapids were and how the water was, because I really had to keep it separate or I wasn't going to be able to do the other parts of my life. Yeah.
I feel like I need to see the question again. What?
Oh, yeah. So basically, how did you hold space for both the pride and then the worry.
Oh, holding space. I don't think I did. It was a lot. It was a lot, you know. We're river people, so we've lived along the river. We've seen, you know, in 2003, I was in high school when these salmon, our relatives, were laying, you know, the way that they were, best friends, Hupa, Yurak, Karuk, knowing and being in relationship. You know, the salmon kept us alive. Being a big family, being raised by a single mother, there were times we didn't have enough, but we had a garden and we had salmon. And these are our relatives, and that was huge. And living away now, living in Portland, life changes, right? For all of us, every decade even changes. Sometimes day to day things change. And this was a big change for our kids to be a part of this. Our people have fought for this forever. And also, prior to leaving, we eat dinner together at the table every night. So being such a close, tight-knit family, and if it wasn't for this cause, it would have never happened. They would have never left, but they're young men, and it's an environment that is training them, right? They need to plan, they need to be safe, they need to think for themselves. They're going out into the world soon. Why not like this? So it was a sacrifice. Holding space for that, I remember, I don't know if I slept on the couch or I woke up on the couch, but there was that ice storm. Toby drove them off. We all said, see you later, and they flew straight into the heat of Chile. Ice storm to summer, and I was sleeping on the couch, not able to move, reminding myself that they're alive. This is okay. It's a period of time and it's for a good cause. And then my daughters, they went over their little charts on the wall while I was laying there and got me off of the couch to do some kid yoga. And we did that together, and that's when I texted Nisha and was like, so is it cool if I still come over? I don't think I can, and we did. We went over and we stayed. We stayed back in the house together for 2 weeks, and it was very hard. Holding that space was something that without each other we couldn't have done, and without the memories of those who fought for it and all of the above. That's kind of how. Thank you, Nisha and Toby.
Family. And so this next question's for Tasia and A-de'ts. In the film, I think is Kiana Allen, described always feeling connected to the river, and as a first foods gatherer through eeling, fishing, and depending on the parts of the river for roots and berries. And so wondering how, after paddling the river, how did it change or deepen that relationship with you to first foods and to the abundance of the river?
I would say it deepened my relationship and understanding of the river. It kind of exposed me more directly to, I don't know the best way to word this, but the ignorance of other people, because there was a lot of people that shared similar love that we had for the river, and they didn't care for it though. Even the people that worked with us and trained us, they don't have the same understanding about how to treat the river, why we act the way we act, and it leads to a lot of cultural conflicts.
I've always been deeply connected to the river, and I think living in Portland for most of my life can kind of make me kind of forget that, and it can make me feel kind of distant and disconnected from the Klamath River and from the land that I'm from. And then I got to kayak on it, and I was like, wait, this is my river. I know, I sit there all the time in the summer, and I have ceremony over here, and it reminded me that even though I'm not there all the time, it is so deeply important in my life, and it's a big part of my life, and it always will be, no matter where I am. And it's just it's really important for me to remember that, and I'm glad I got that experience to really drill it in my head that I know the river better than a lot of people, and it's always going to be a part of me. So.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's awesome. That leads into this. So we heard about it several times in the film that the kayakers were talking about honoring their ancestors who had spent generations fighting against the dams. And one paddler specifically wanted to honor her grandfather's lifelong work to protect treaty resources. And the question is, how did the weight of that history show up for you on the water? There were moments in the edit where it was nice to see different kayakers kind of experiencing that moment. But I'm just wondering if you can, go back into that space where, like, the weight of it all hit you, because it seemed like it was super exciting, and then I could only imagine going across the lake. That seemed so challenging, but I feel like it was maybe after that there were these moments of like realization.
I think that, I don't know why I start every sentence with that, but like I said before, like I was so nervous to do, like even before the descent, I was nervous and I was scared. And so it took before going on the descent to like calm my nerves and to think this descent isn't even for me. Like I'm doing this for my people and for my ancestors. So through the lake and through all the hard times we had on that river, it was always an important thing for us to remember that it's not just for us, it's also for our siblings and for our grandparents and for our ancestors and for our people and communities. And so it made it less hard at times to be like, okay, well, I guess I'll wake up at 6 a.m. And so, yeah, does that answer the question?
About the lake, I guess I was paddling too good because we did a little stop and there were like a couple people were like couldn't do it, and they put me in a double kayak and shoved a kid in the back of my boat, and he did not paddle. I was towing him down that river and that was rough. But to answer the question specifically, part of like the history of it all, it really hit me before it even started, because I was already getting pretty mad at the people putting this in place. And I remember partially joking and not fully joking to my family members and saying like, I will walk down the whole river, because this is not, they're treating it like a trip, and it wasn't supposed to be a trip. It was like an actual journey that had significant meaning to us and our people, not some little joy trip for these these instructors that, like I said in the beginning, they're ignorant and they don't hold the same understandings that we do.
Yeah, I want to acknowledge, what you're saying there, and I'd like to share something, like I've been on this thing called the Peace and Dignity Journeys before, and it's an Indigenous, led relay run, and so in that way with the leadership, they talk about every step is a prayer, along the journey, and so I'm wondering, if like in your guys' minds, I could imagine, it's like this whole thing is a prayer, it's a journey, and and maybe there was some not understanding of, the weight that carries for y'all, and maybe not to acknowledge that, and to maybe kind of downplay it, and maybe that was just a defensive way for them, having good intention and maybe not their intentions landing right, so I just want to acknowledge, I understand what you're talking about there. Mm-hmm.
I also just want to add, throughout this process of watching the film and hearing these guys talk and being in rooms like this, I realized while listening to their interview questions and people going over things, is that a lot of people don't realize that these two, and all of them, all of ours at least, they had never whitewater kayaked. They had never kayaked before this. They were doing this to do the descent. They weren't kayaking and then decided to do the descent. So there's a big difference in like the intention and the why behind why they're doing it. A lot of people assumed that they had been in kayaks and they were like, oh, these kids kayak, let's do this trip. No, it was not that at all. They had never kayaked. They started training to do this.
And I still haven't sat in a kayak, still. But I also, like, when it comes to that, you know, talking about those cultural differences, they were challenged throughout the programming, throughout things, and that's kind of a given. There was a lot of their efforts go into training these young Native folks to be able to continue and train more people. It was like, we don't see a lot of us in these places. And so how do we do that? We prepare, we train, we do these. And allowing them to be able to, all of them, it wasn't easy for anybody. There was a lot that went in, and Rios to Rivers is not a large entity. It's a small group of individuals. But that moment when we talk about our ancestors, every part of this was so big, it's hard still to put some stuff into words. But we did a panel at Tryon Creek and watched, was it this documentary? Or I don't think this was out. I shared a snippet, a preview of the next big documentary that Rios to Rivers is making. And you saw at the end, right, where they're coming in and I thought it was gonna be a sunny day, right? There's all this fog and we're all there, and it was just so incredible. It was incredible to be there and see all of that water, and there's 2 traditional dugout canoes and their whole row of all these youth that they've been training over a few years going down. And all of that fog was there. As they come in and they reached the ocean, it started to lift, the songs, the prayers. And as we came back to the boat ramp, it was so blue. A lot of us were sunburnt. It was so clear, it was so open. And when we did this at Tryon Creek, there was an individual, Sherrod, is he Grand Ron? Coquille Native. He was in the audience and he said, do you guys have the same beliefs as us about fog? And I'm like, I don't know, tell me, you know, what's your belief? And he said, well, we believe that when that fog comes down like that, when that fog is close in these ways, that's our ancestors. And I said, oh, we felt it. Like we felt these, no, like thank you so much for sharing that, because that's exactly what it felt like. That fog resting so close with all of these generations of individuals who had just committed to 30 days. Somebody said, how did it feel to get your kids back after 30 days? 30 days have been like 3.5 years of them going and training. So beautiful, yes.
That's so amazing. Wow, okay, so I have 2 more questions. Yeah, I mean, you kind of answered this next question, though. But what a beautiful, thought of, and that imagery. I mean, I could only imagine what it was like in person, because on the screen it just looked amazing. But this next question is for everyone here. So whoever would like to answer, the idea is that the work continues, and I've done some reporting on the Klamath as well over the few years, and one thing that I felt was kind of it was a half truth was when there was all this news of the river is undammed, there's no more dams, and it's like, well, I was just there, and there's still for sure the Kino Dam, right, and that's the one that keeps the agriculture levels up, so you can take the water out for the fields. And then, so there's 2 dams left on the river, so it's actually not undammed. And so, with the 2 dams that remain, the youth and the kayakers made a promise to do whatever is necessary to protect the river. And so what does advocacy look like for you now? And what do you hope young people watching this film take away?
Organization, it's strength in numbers, and you're, as a Native person, well, as people in general, everyone is a community, and, you know, the way that you make change is by having enough people that are taking the steps to actually bring upon that change. And on the dams that are still on the river, if we want to go deeper, there's 2 dams on the Trinity River too, which is the biggest tributary. There's significant hydropower operations all over the Klamath Basin. This was the first step. I don't like how they treat it like it's a finished job.
Yeah, I think things like this too, right? And as we're watching this film, like storytelling has always been powerful, and the gift of being able to create in the society that we're living in today, and seeing our little ones who are sitting out here watching this. I don't remember which part it was, but Delia, she's 6 years old, and she was just cracking up laughing, you know, and she's standing there holding Tasia's hand at the end on that last day, and she feels that pride, you know, as a 5-year-old. So this is being planted as it was in me when I was a little girl, and definitely gathering, definitely having those conversations and showing up, right? And that's what the challenges that we speak of that are not told, you know, that was the core, is why are we doing this? Remembering that why, and showing up knowing that we're not here. I mean, I asked my son A-de'ts before they went, are you gonna let anyone interview you this time? Can I see some pictures of you? And he said, that's not why I'm here. You know, that's not why I'm here. And it's like, it's that stuff and those frustrations of having differences and wanting to step away, but remembering why, you know? It's like, look down as you're paddling when you see those salmon traveling home, as you're traveling to the ocean. Like, it's powerful, and they felt that. They felt that when they looked at the mountains. They felt that as they paddled through something that they could now see the rocks at the bottom of the Klamath River that they weren't able to see. None of us were able to see for many, many, many years. So it is sharing stories, it is coming together, it's continuing to remember, and it's us taking those little moments to go sit by the water, because that water will bring us so much medicine that we need. We have that inside of our bodies, right? We can't live without it, or the trees. So maintaining our relationships with the water and the lands, and our relationships with each other, and like just keep moving forward, right? Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that, I don't know, I things like this, I think are actually really sometimes underrated. At least for me, I feel like, oh, I don't know, maybe I'm not doing enough, but I get to be here and I get to talk to people, and I've been privileged with the opportunity to be able to do a lot of these panels and be able to talk to a lot of people and like reach a lot of different kinds of people, and I think that is so important, and being able to educate and to like spread my message that I want to share, and like sorry, and just being able to do that and educate and teach people and spread these messages, and because that's so important. Education is like the basis of everything, and that's really, really important. And so at my school, actually, they showed the OPB documentary in a lot of the history classes, and I got to help kind of frame the questions, and even just like in my schoolwork, like talking about the things that are important to me, and things like water protection and discrimination and all the different things that are so important to talk about and to educate people on, and being able to know those things and know how to talk about them and be able to put that into my work, whether it's to a teacher or to another student. And I think just being able to do that and educate other people and educate yourself is really, really important.
It's hard to go after my daughter and Ginger over here. I think one of the biggest things that I have wanted and tried to do is raise these kids this way. And I don't know if you two know how proud of you I am. you had asked in the beginning kind of like how it felt, and Ginger and I both, I think, there's no words. I'm like, someone said something and I'm like, pride feels like this big. Like pride is not the way I feel. It's like my whole, I cry every time I watch this. And I am so honored that these kids who we gave our 20s for and worked really hard to give this life to is doing this. And so that's.
I like the note on the Trinity River. When we're talking about how do we do this, right? There was I think 5 of them from the beginning who are Hoopa tribal members. Where'd he go? But they were on this run, this 30-day descent. And when they say that it's a program, and this is, what did you call it? A joyride or whatever. And they're feeling in their hearts like, no, this is more than that. And they were pushing because we, Hoopa tribal members, we're right there at the lower part of the Trinity River. So we're all in the Klamath River Basin, and that Trinity River is the largest tributary. With the fish kill, with the things that are going on, like they traveled up in our waters and our best friends, and we go down on that water. There's so much that's interconnected, right? And so these youth were pushing for, a couple weeks to try to get that Trinity River leg in. And the faculty were saying, no, this is the Klamath River run, this is the Klamath. And they kept telling me in all this frustration, I didn't quite understand. And I asked, what are you trying to do? I'm curious, could we open the door? I'm worried about the elder. It's kind of warm in here, and I see that I don't know if you guys mind, I'm sorry, maybe a little air. It looks like people are hot. So they wanted to get that Trinity River run in, and I didn't understand, and I was asking, what are you trying to do? What do you want in this, And they said, well, the Trinity River is the largest tributary. We've done this, we've done that run in our practices, and we want to connect it. We want to connect it to this. And so it's like, well, what are the facts? Give them the facts. So these youth went back and had their little their little meeting with the staff, and they said, to say that it's just the Klamath River run is false because we started on the Wood River. The Trinity River is the largest tributary to the Klamath. It's all connected. We're all connected. I think they said our people intermarry, and maybe Julian said, and our fish intermarry. And it was really important, and they were pushing and pushing. And it was their rest day that they had in that last 3 or 4 days of the trip that the staff finally said, okay. Some of them did. They got a group together. Okay. So they went and they went in and added. So they say 310 miles. It was more than that. And that was their advocating. I don't know that word. Advocacy. That was them advocating for the Trinity River, for those dams, for that removal, for that awareness in their circles, right? But that goes out to each one of them. And the staff said to me, I had no idea how important that was until we landed. Once they went through and they connected and they saw the pride in these youth, they saw the love and the joy and the celebration of that win for them to say, hey, the Trinity River still has these dams. We do have these dams up here. We have them, 90% of the water was being diverted. Now it's about 50% that's being diverted. And we live in different times. We don't have enough water to have data centers. We don't have enough water to be continuing to divert. We don't have enough to just say, take it, we'll make more. No, we don't. No, we won't. So showing up in these ways and sharing stories and really supporting our younger ones and having conversations with our older ones, we all have something to offer to each other, and that's how we keep it going, in my opinion.
Yes, please make some noise, yes. So they answered the final question I had, but I'm gonna still call out, what we're doing here with 20-373. So in light of the water protection measures we are currently trying to pass in Lane County, measure 20-373, we're just gonna call out again that this would protect our watersheds from corporate harm, such as industrial logging practices, including the use of aerial herbicide spraying, which is a huge threat to our water, and the data centers that are already here. And so the last question was, can you share any inspiration and motivation, which I believe you already did. So please, with that, let's stand one more time and give it up for our amazing kayakers here and their mothers. And I'm gonna call up Michelle Holman right now to give us our call to action. I feel like I'm super inspired and motivated, and we want to direct you with this energy that you have now.
And really bless up you young people, because you brought awareness and inspiration to this room and to so many who get to see this this epic journey that you took. It's massive what you did for all of us, for what you did for yourselves, but what you're doing for all of us. And it's just going to spread. I mean, you did something, a thing in 30 days that will live on forever. So bless up big time. Yeah, so our initiative, 20-373, is the action right here. You can get involved. I mean, right here, we are doing the work. We are the water protectors. We're the earth defenders, all of us. Tomorrow at 10 o'clock, we're meeting at Growers Market to do some canvassing, more canvassing. We are so grassroots. And the big boys, the big corporations, they have a whole lot more money than we do. And right now, our opposition is outspending us about 10-1. What we have is you. We have the people. We are the people. So we are gathering more and more of us. Many of us in this room have been canvassing for weeks. We're in the last home stretch right now. We've got 18 days till this thing is finished. We want to be victorious. We know we can do this, but we need you. So if you can show up at 10 o'clock tomorrow, we'll give you your walking instructions, and you'll go out and spread the good word. I mean, this is honorable work. None of us get paid. We do this because we love the planet. We love where we live. We love each other. It's an honor to serve in this way. You can't give money inside this room. We could use more. I don't know if you've heard this, but the Koch brothers threw down to our opposition. The Koch brothers. They don't live here, but they have an interest. In some ways, we're kind of honored that we're threatening them, that they had to show up. But, you know, we are not dissuaded. We're not afraid. We are incredibly unapologetic for what we do here. So if you can give some money, go out the door. We've got QR codes. You can give online. This is so important, and it's really so inspiring, and it's so helpful to see a room full of people come and listen to the youth talk. It doesn't take anything off of us, though. You know, yeah, we gave it the office when we were their age, but we're still here. So we're going to link up with the generations across the demographics. We'll do this together. Show up at 10 o'clock tomorrow at Growers Market, and yeah, bless up all of us.
So we're gonna give our guests here some gift bags. Public thank you. We pass them down, and yeah. If any of you know, I'm also a hip hop artist, and I like to do these things, these call and response things. So I'm gonna do, when I say water is, you say life. Practice it one time. Water is life. Okay. All right, here we go. We're gonna finish our event with Water is Life call out, and thank you so much for being a part of this. So here we go. Water is life. Water is life. Water is life. Water is life. Thank you.